Okay, so as I said, what I decided to do instead of just drawing those marks in is to be a little bit more creative, have a little bit more fun, and maybe have an excuse to buy a tool that I hadn't ever bought and always wanted to before. So I decided to route these marks in a little bit, and I'm using just a Ryobi router I bought from Home Depot. I'm not making a plug for Ryobi, it's just was the one that with the price and everything else worked out for me. And I'm using, you can see better probably on this picture, just a what they call I believe it's just a 1/4 inch straight bit. And then in order to make the lines straight, have some, what I did was I built a jig to go over, you can kind of see, hopefully you can, just made it out of scrap wood. And it's designed, I just made it to sit down over my select pine, and then, you know, what you'll do is when you're marking, what I do, just slide it to an open spot. This obviously was not here the first cut I made. I cut that through, and I just been sliding back through that same spot every time I make it. But I just line up the line, and I've got my jig. And then in order to stop me, I've got this block here, and I've just started it. You can see I've got some other holes. I started with it further out, and then made the longer ones first. So my router ran in this slot until it hits there, and then I just moved this block progressively further in, first 1 inch and then a 1/2 inch for each of the shorter ones, and then my router slides in this spot, hits the stop, and then that makes the length that I want. Now what's had to do a little bit different here was because the stop is actually this extra little piece, and as you can see it's a little bit thinner. The reason for that is my router has these handles on it, and if I was just going straight in, my handles would catch there, so I have to come in at an angle, and then that thinner piece allows the handle to slide over that block, and then the router actually hits up against that block. So it actually works out pretty good. Like I said, I just made this jig out of scrap wood, and thought about it a little bit and put it together, and it seems to be working out really good. When I'm ready to route the piece, and I'll have a little bit of trouble showing that on the video because you've got to use both hands on the router. I just clamp it here. I'm just on the bench there, and my dog, hi Julie. And I just run the router up until it stops, and that's how that's going to go. So if I figure out a good way to take the video of an actual routing pass, I'll do that. It's not a big deal, it only takes a second or two. I'll do that. I'm figuring out that when I'm done, I am going to have to come back through and sand the edges a little bit. Maybe some of you that are more professional carpenters and would know how to make that happen, or perhaps I should have bought a more hard wood to do this project, but you live and learn. We'll see. I think it's going to work out good. I tried to sand some of these. You can see that one looks pretty good there. So